So you want to buy a house, but you don't know how to get started? I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do, step by step. Hello to all you future homeowners out there. I am Lenice Mayfield. I am a realtor in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and you are watching First Time Home Buyer Basics. Well, I give you useful tips and information on how you can buy a home in today's market. So let's dive right in. So if you're looking to buy a home, the first thing that you need to do is go online and check your credit report. I want you to know that there are 3 major credit bureaus. That's going to be Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. My favorite website to go online and to check and make sure that there's no inaccurate information is going to be freeannualcreditreport.com. Once a year, you can go on there and get your free copy of your credit report, and it is fantastic because you can take those reports from each of those bureaus and take a look at them and make sure that there is nothing on there that is inaccurate. If there is inaccurate information, then obviously you want to go online and you want to dispute that information. If you don't really understand the dispute process, you should get in contact with some sort of credit consultant or someone who specializes in credit repair in order to help you with that. So that is my first tip. Go online, check that credit report. The second thing you want to do is go ahead and get in contact with a lender. A lender is going to be very, very important in this entire home buying process. The lender is going to give you what we call a letter of pre-qualification. The first thing the lender is going to do is ask you some information about your income and ask you for some documents on that stuff. But even before they get to all that, the very, very first thing a lender is going to do is pull your credit. So you definitely want to make sure that your credit is in tip-top shape, because that is a determining factor to show whether or not you can even move forward with the process. That's like the first thing that they're going to check, is make sure that you can even qualify for any of the first-time home buyer programs that they have. All right, and so minimum credit scores, if you're looking for like an FHA loan, I mean, you have some lenders that can go as low as 550. On average, they like to see you 580 or above. So just keep all of that in mind, and they're going off of the FICO credit scoring method, because I know that there are several different credit scoring methods out there right now. So once they have pulled your credit and they realize that yes, you qualify in that area, then they'll begin to ask you for a little bit more documentation. They're going to be asking you, on average, this is just in general, so this is what they standardly ask for, is going to be what type of income you're bringing in. That usually is your pay stubs, if you are employed for the last 60 days. If you're self-employed, then they usually are going to want to take a look at your bank statements a little bit further back, and there will probably be more documentation that you'll have to provide. But if let's say that you are just a regular employee, you work for a bank, or you work for a national company, and you actually have pay stubs. So they'll ask for 30 days worth of your pay stubs, 60 days worth of your bank statements, and then they are going to ask you for 2 years worth of your tax returns. And that's just very, very standard. If I were you, just go ahead and get a folder together so that you can have all of this information together, have it ready to hand off to them, since you already know that's what they're going to want. And then once they go through all of this information and they verify documentation and that sort of thing, they'll be issuing you a letter that you can take out and begin to go on your home search. Now, as you are moving forward on your home search, you'll also notice that on that letter, it should have your interest rate. Sometimes, if it does not, then please go ahead and ask your lender what your interest rate and your monthly payment is going to be. I cannot tell you how many times as a real estate professional, I start looking for homes with somebody. We make an offer on the property, and then they're asking me like, oh, how much is my monthly payment going to be? Well, that's something that you really should discuss with your lender up front. That way, once we're out and I have this letter of pre-approval and we're looking at properties, you're not worried about that because it's already something that you've taken care of. When we begin to look for properties, as a real estate professional, I always have my clients to kind of narrow things down. You know, how many bedrooms do you need? How many bathrooms do you need? Is there a specific area or school district that you would like to live within? So just really just narrowing it down. Is there certain things that you would like in a house more than others? Like, is it okay if you have carpet in your property? You know, sometimes people have allergies and then they just don't want, you know, as much carpet in their home. But we have to be realistic when we're narrowing it down as well, because we don't want to narrow it down too much and then you have no properties to choose from. So we have to be realistic for your budget as well as for the market. And that way we can work together and find you an excellent home that you'll be happy with. So once everything has been narrowed down, I usually take you out and look at 5 properties. So we're going to look at 5 homes that day, and I'll be honest with you, it is best to take notes because sometimes it starts blending in. You'll be so shocked at how many times I've had clients say, was that the house that had the high ceilings? Or, you know, was that the house that had those stairs? Or did that one have stainless steel appliances, or were they black? So it's best to just take notes as you're in the property, and then that way you can go back and refer to those notes. Yes, you can always go back and look at the pictures online and that sort of thing, but it is best to just go ahead and take some notes so that you can have something to just trigger your memory of that property, because after you start looking at so many, that does start to blend in together. Because we already do our homework up front, because we already narrow the homes down up front, majority of my clients don't have to look for a long period of time. I do have many people who are just like, I am in love with this particular house before they even get there, and they know as long as everything checks out and it looks exactly like it is on the pictures online and that sort of thing, that that's probably the house that they're going to go with. And it's because we've already looked at it. We've already found out about the homeowners association, or whether or not there is one. We've already found out, you know, what the local school district, everything that is important to you as a homeowner, we've already checked out and we've already looked at that prior to showing up at that house. Another point I want to make, because this is extremely important. It is so important to narrow your houses down right now because of the pandemic. You don't want to have to go in and out of people's houses as much, especially right now with everything happening. So just make sure that we're doing our research, and then you kind of know exactly what it is that you want. And as a real estate professional, that's what I do. That's what I help you to do. So once you have found the perfect property, the next thing is we're going to be putting an offer in on that property. How exciting is that? So there are some elements that you need to be aware of that will come up at that point. The very first thing is, how much are you offering on that property? What we want to do is we want to take a look at the comps in that neighborhood and how much things have sold for, and kind of take a look at what's pending. And then we will make an educated decision on how much to offer for that property. You don't want to ever insult the seller on a property that you really want by coming in extremely low. You will run into motivated sellers, and that is excellent. I love motivated sellers, and so at that point you can negotiate a better deal. But we want to make sure that we're within the comps as well. A thing that will protect you, and always keep this in mind, is the lender is going to do an appraisal on that home. The lender has a vested interest in your property, so they're going to do an appraisal and make sure that you're not paying way over what the market value of that home is for. So just keep that in mind as you're moving forward, that you do have that extra layer of protection in there given by the lender's appraisal. Let's back up. So like I said, we're making an offer on this property. You got the purchase price of how much, we're going to offer on the home. You also have to, in South Carolina, you have to know which attorney you would like to use. You also need to know how much earnest money you're going to be putting down. Now, with earnest money, on average, I have been seeing for first-time homebuyer homes, usually $1,000, $1,500. And your earnest money, you actually get back at closing. So you don't just give that money as a deposit and never see it again. It can be used at closing again as a credit to you for whatever amount you have to bring to closing. It will be subtracted from that. It is also important that you understand earnest money, and I have another video that's all about earnest money, and I will link it down below in the description. So if you want to find out more information on earnest money, be sure to watch that video. Okay, so now we have gone through and we have all of the elements that we need to go into our offer, and we have submitted our offer over to the seller. There are 3 things that can take place. The first one is that they can reject your offer. The second one is that they can counteroffer you, which is very, very common. And the third one is that they can accept it. They can just accept your offer as is with all of the terms in it. Whatever happens, your real estate professional is going to be able to assist you with moving forward and help you to come up with some terms that you and the seller can both agree on and come to an agreement, because ultimately that's the goal. Have a happy seller who gets to sell their property, which is their goal, and we have a happy home buyer who gets to buy their very first home. Yay! So we definitely want that for you. So once you have an accepted contract, we are now moving on to what we call our due diligence period. The very first thing that's going to happen is you are going to have a home inspection on that property. I always recommend to my clients to go ahead and have a home inspection. They are extremely important. Going to be pointing out all of the negative aspects of that property. Yes, I know up until now we've been all in love with the home and taking a look at all of its beauty and splendor and just taking it all in. But now it's that home inspector's job to go in and show you all of the little things that you may have missed. He has a very trained eye, and he specializes in finding things wrong with homes. He's going to be testing the electrical, the plumbing, the AC unit, making sure the roof is free of leaks, and taking a look at the shingles up there and how they look, and walking on that roof so that you can know. And sometimes they send drone videos up there on the roof so that you can actually even see what they're talking about. They're going to be taking lots and lots of photos too. If you have a crawl space, they'll be going up underneath. One of the major issues that we run into with crawl spaces is moisture. Ugh. So we definitely want to get a home inspector in there so that they can tell you if there's anything at all wrong with that property. Once the home inspection has been completed, we'll go back into negotiations, and we'll be taking a look at all of the major issues in that property first. So if there are major issues and things that are wrong, like with the structure of the home or with the electrical, plumbing, we want to make sure that we address all of those major concerns first. Your real estate professional will help to guide you as to with your decisions and what you should be doing. If at some point you feel like you need advice from a contractor or a third party, then your real estate professional will help you to facilitate that and to get those inspections set up at that point. Once we get past the negotiations and the repair period, then from there, your lender is ordering your appraisal. So once the appraisal has been ordered, you're going to be talking more with your lender, and you're going to be submitting more and more documentation. The appraiser is going to come in. They're going to make sure that you're not paying more for that property than it's actually worth. So that's the second inspection that takes place. And then there will be one more inspection called a CL100. This inspection is going to test for mold, moisture, and mildew inside of the property. So and it's also going to test for termites. That's right, those little bugs that come in and get into the property and eat up the structure and cause thousands and thousands of dollars worth of damage. They're just wanting to make sure that they are not currently present. Advice: please, if you live in a coastal area like Myrtle Beach, our area is so full of moisture and we have huge issues with those little bugs. So be sure to get a termite bond on your house and keep it. Do not go without a termite bond here in the coastal area in Myrtle Beach or the surrounding area, because you need a termite bond. Like I said, they can cause so much damage. And what they do is they come in and they eat the wood from the inside, and then it'll be so soft that you can crumble it with your hand. And we definitely don't want that for the structural beams and floor joists, and it can cost you a lot of money. So keep that termite bond on that property. And so after we have done all of the inspections and they have all been completed, the underwriter has been doing their work, and while all of this has been taking place, your attorney's office has been ordering your title work and getting your deed all prepped, ready for closing. So the lender will give us what we call a clear to close. Once that lender has given us the clear to close, then we can go ahead and set up the final time with the closing attorney. The lender's going to be sending over your closing packet, and on closing day, you are going to be signing a lot. I mean, a lot of paperwork. So just be prepared. I've had a client say, "Oh, my hand cramps." Yeah, I did. It's not going to be that bad, but yeah, you're going to be signing a lot of paperwork, so just be prepared, and your attorney's going to be reviewing all of it with you and making sure that you understand what the terms and conditions of your mortgage is. And congratulations, yay! You have just purchase your very first home. Now, I do want to mention something, because it is standard practice in the Myrtle Beach area that you will not receive your keys until the deed has recorded, unless you've made prior arrangements with the seller to be able to get your keys prior to the deed recording. That is very standard on resale because of the liability issues. Now, new construction is a little bit different because you have a little bit more leniency from the builder. And that is it. That is everything. So congratulations to you at that point. You're a new homeowner. And you know what? I want to hear from you. I want to know what other questions you might have about purchasing a home. So comment below. I want to know exactly what your thoughts are, and if you found this video valuable. If you'd like to see more videos like this and what you want me to talk about next, so comment below. I want to know. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you have not done so already, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I look forward to talking with you again soon. And once again, I am Lanice Mayfield. If you would like to do a custom home search, go over to my website, myrtlebeachhousefinder.com. All right, thank you so much for watching once again, and I will talk to you soon. Until next time, happy house hunting.